The Little Engine That Could. Chapter 1. A Busy Day at the Railway Station. Once upon a time, in a bustling railway station filled with the hissing of steam and the clatter of wheels, a long line of freight cars sat waiting on the tracks. These cars were loaded with toys, treats, and treasures meant for children on the other side of a tall, snowy mountain. On this day, the station was alive with activity as engines and workers hurried about to ensure every cargo reached its destination. However, there was a problem. The engine that was supposed to pull the train had suddenly broken down. The station master and the railway workers grew worried. Without an engine to make the journey, how could the precious goods be delivered? Big engines passed by, but none were willing to take on such a daunting task, for the climb over the mountain was steep and long. Chapter 2. A Glimmer of Hope. In a quiet corner of the station, a small blue engine sat quietly on the tracks. Though much smaller than the other engines, the little engine had a heart full of courage and a belief that it could do great things. Hearing the worried voices around, the little engine puffed a little louder and whispered to itself, "I think I can, I think I can." When the station master finally announced, "Who will pull this train over the mountain?" the little engine bravely offered, "I will try." Even though some of the bigger engines chuckled and shook their heads, the little engine was determined to help. Chapter 3. Preparing for the Challenge. Before setting off, the little engine took a deep breath and imagined all the smiling faces of the children waiting on the other side of the mountain. With a cheerful toot of its whistle, it hooked up to the long train of freight cars. The other engines and workers watched in amazement as the little engine prepared for the difficult journey ahead. As the engine started chugging along the track, its wheels clicked and clacked, and a small puff of steam emerged with every move. "I think I can, I think I can," the little engine repeated, its voice echoing with determination. Thus, the great adventure began. Chapter 4. The Great Climb. At first, the path was gentle, and the little engine moved along happily. But as the train approached the mountain, the tracks began to rise steeply. The climb was tougher than the little engine had ever imagined. The weight of the long line of freight cars pressed down on its small frame, and every puff of steam took extra effort. The little engine's wheels began to spin more slowly as it struggled up the mountain. Its boiler hissed with exertion, and its engine rumbled with all its might. "I think I can, I think I can," it chanted, even when the slope grew steeper and the air grew colder. The higher it climbed, the more it thought about the children waiting and the promise of delivering their treasures. Along the way, the little engine passed by other trains and engines that cheered it on. Their encouraging whistles and supportive sounds filled the air, lifting the little engine's spirits and fueling its determination. Chapter 5. The Final Push. Near the top of the mountain, the climb became the hardest it had ever been. The tracks twisted and turned over rocky terrain, and a blanket of snow began to fall. The little engine's strength was being tested with every puff of steam. Its wheels slipped on icy patches, and its boiler groaned under the heavy load. But then, remembering the smiling faces of the children and the kind words of those who believed in it, the little engine gathered every bit of courage. With one final burst of energy, it chanted louder than ever, "I think I can, I think I can." Slowly and steadily, the little engine pushed on, inching its way over the highest peak of the mountain. Chapter 6. Triumphant at the Top. At long last, the little engine reached the top of the mountain. The view was breathtaking, a sea of clouds below, warm sunlight above, and a promise of a new day waiting on the other side. With one final triumphant toot, the engine began its gentle descent into a bright and cheerful station, where the waiting children and townsfolk cheered in delight. The train rolled into the station, and as the freight cars came to a stop, everyone clapped and celebrated. The little engine, though small, had accomplished something truly magnificent. It had overcome a huge obstacle by believing in itself and never giving up. Chapter 7. A Lesson for Everyone. From that day on, the little engine became a symbol of hope and determination for everyone at the station and far beyond. Its story spread across the land, inspiring all who heard it to face challenges with courage and persistence. The little engine's journey taught everyone an important lesson. No matter how small you may feel, with hard work and determination, you can overcome the greatest obstacles. Its famous motto, I think I can, became a rallying cry for anyone facing a tough challenge. Moral of the story: believe in yourself. No matter how small or inexperienced you may feel, you have the strength to overcome big challenges if you keep trying and believe in your own abilities. Remember the little engine's words. I think I can, I think I can.